Whether you operate one forklift or thousands, one location or hundreds, the new My Toyota customer portal can help you optimize your operation and material handling equipment. This one-stop, free-to-use platform is designed to help you take control of your information and make smarter decisions, all at the touch of a button. Register and access your data today at my.toyotaforklift.com. That's my.toyotaforklift.com. Hi, this is Kevin Lawton of the New Warehouse Podcast, and today's safety tip is inspect trailer floors before entering with the machine. A compromised floor can easily break under the weight of a forklift, and containers can also be easily saturated and weakened while on the ship. Verify that the floor is safe to enter and avoid having forklifts fall through.
With e-commerce off the charts, many small and growing warehouses are asking, how can I get ahead when my warehouse is barely keeping up? The answer is future-ready warehouse tech from Zebra Technologies. Warehouses can simplify and upgrade all processes, from automated inventory management to hands-free picking, with Zebra's tailored, scalable mobile solutions. They're simple and intuitive. There's never been a better time to upgrade for success with Zebra. How can your warehouse get ahead? The answer's in black and white. Get the answers at zebra.com/theanswer. That's zebra.com/theanswer.
Starting March 28th, Modex 2022 lets you see what's coming and take advantage of it to power your supply chain with more possibilities for years to come. With 850 exhibitors and education sessions, Modex 2022 is where you'll find the more of everything. From illuminating education to next-generation technology and equipment in action to the latest equipment and system solutions for your supply chain needs. Visit modexshow.com and join us March 28th to 31st, 2022.
The New Warehouse Podcast, hosted by Kevin Lawton, is your source for insights and ideas from the distribution, transportation, and logistics industry. A new episode every Monday morning brings you the latest from industry experts and thought leaders. And now, here's Kevin.
Hey, this is Kevin Lawton, and you're listening to the New Warehouse Podcast. Before we get into today's episode, just a reminder that Modex is getting very close, and I want to meet you there. If you are interested in doing an interview live at Modex with me, be sure to email me at kevin@thenewwarehouse.com. That's kevin@thenewwarehouse.com. Spots are filling up pretty quickly, but there are still some available, and I want to make sure I talk to as many people as possible. So we will be in booth C4277. That's C4277. So feel free to stop by and say hi. I'm very excited to be back in person, see the latest in the industry. And now for today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about how to increase your knowledge and help advance yourself in our industry. This has been a question I have gotten a few times from people on LinkedIn and students who I work with through my teaching and mentoring over the past few months. So I thought I would share my thoughts because my answers are typically the same from what I believe in. So the first is to increase your knowledge in the field. So the question is, how do I get more education in the field, or I'm transitioning to the field? How can I learn more? So for warehousing, distribution, fulfillment, logistics, whatever you may call it, they all cover a broad area, and there's many different inputs that each one touches. So one thing for sure is that, no company is exactly the same. I mean, I've actually gotten questions of, well, if I do this, will, Apple be more interested in me? And the truth is, I don't know how Apple works in their hiring process and, logistics or any company for that matter, except for the ones that I've worked with or heard about. So while a general education can help you, even if it's focused on supply chain, there are definitely more specific educational opportunities for our industry. One that I recommend, and I have actually discussed before on the Supply Chain is Boring podcast with Chris Barnes, I would definitely recommend listening to that, is the ASCM Apex CLTD certification, which is a certification in logistics, transportation, and distribution. That's what the LTD stands for. So when I did this, it was because myself, I was in the position of I wanted to further my knowledge in the industry. I had no formal education on the industry prior to that. I didn't go to school for supply chain or anything like that. I did go for business, which has helped a little bit, but no specific supply chain or logistics, distribution, operations type of education. So at the time, I had worked in the industry for about 5 years, but this certification, going through the class, really expanded my knowledge into many different aspects that I had not personally dealt with yet in my career, which made it very interesting. It gave me a better understanding of different things and prepared me for more to come and what would be kind of the growth within my career being in this industry. So I got into a lot more higher level strategy as well as granular things too. How do certain things work? What do certain terms mean? How to use certain planning processes and formulas as well. A lot of different things. It was a definite wealth of knowledge. So there's also, aside from, ASCM, Apex, CLTD, I mean, I think that's maybe, in my opinion, and, from what I've heard from others, that's probably the most widely recognized certifications in the supply chain world internationally, but there are other ones out there. So there's other different programs as well. There's other associations, like there's Work, which is focused on warehousing as well. And there's local community college programs too, as well. I did some teaching at Rowan College of Burlington County last semester. That was a business logistics course, which was part of like a whole degree program, but they also had separate individual certification programs targeted at logistics and supply chain and different aspects. There was a transportation one as well. So if you look around, there's certainly programs that can help you get that specific knowledge and in a reasonable time frame as well. Instead of having to go back to school for a whole degree, maybe you can find what you're looking for in just a short program. So definitely recommend those and checking that out. The other recommendation I have to further your knowledge and kind of advance yourself in the industry is to just network like crazy. I think, networking for me has certainly helped me grow my knowledge. And I found that, connecting with people in the industry, it's really also helped me in some situations where I needed recommendations, right? So, we run into issues in our warehouse and, I'm sure somebody else has done something like this. Who do I know maybe that I can reach out to that can help me with a recommendation and what did they do in that situation? You can learn a lot from people that you've networked with. So additionally, you get to learn from their experiences with certain things. They may have experienced something before you, like I just mentioned. Obviously, networking in person has certainly been a little difficult over the past 2 years with everything going on, but networking online is always possible. I highly recommend LinkedIn. And specifically, LinkedIn groups, I think, is something that I've gotten more active in just the past 3 months, actually. And while I've been networking a lot on LinkedIn, and obviously, the podcast kind of helps with that and, helps me find guests and things of that nature. But in the groups specifically, there's groups that are focused on warehousing and logistics. And, you really find a lot of great posts in there, articles as well on, what's happening. So that gives you some knowledge there, but you can also kind of see who's in there to connect with that really, would be engaging and would be interested in talking to you. So very easy to do that through LinkedIn. Just reach out to people, just ask questions and make sure that, you're also giving them some value in return as well, right? You don't want to just go in asking somebody questions and then not giving anything back in return, so that the networking and the relationship can grow as well. So not only is it a great place to connect with the people, but also when you connect with them, you see in your feed, right, what they're posting about the industry. So there's always some information there that's being given out that you can see. So once you kind of tailor your LinkedIn to your industry, then you're constantly getting information through there, and it's always something new to check out and learn from. So other places to network, we talk about in person would certainly be at trade shows like upcoming Modex show at the end of March in Atlanta, which we'll be at. So definitely come to that if you can make it. And also there's local ASCM events as well. I know we do some here in New Jersey with my chapter, Princeton Region South Jersey chapter. We have an event once a month. And there's events. I know Toronto ASCM does a lot of events as well. And they've been virtual. So, you can join from anywhere. Where in the past they were in person, they've been virtual for the most part over the past 2 years. So you can certainly join them from wherever, or you can look up your local chapter or other associations that are in your area. So I've certainly learned a ton from doing this, and it has really given me a lot of different perspectives on the industry as well, just based on, listening to other people and seeing their experiences and kind of weighing things out in that way. So the last recommendation that I'm going to give for today, and this is mostly for students, but it's to get experience on the floor. So while you're in school and you want to go into distribution operations, you should get a part-time job or a temporary job working in a warehouse, doing like picking or packing or something of that nature. Just work on the floor. Warehouses, they're constantly hiring. Obviously, we talk about labor shortages here. So it's really not difficult to find one. And, signing up with a temp agency is easy as well. And with a temp job, you can do it as long as you like. And, you got a month on winter break, jump into a warehouse and do some picking, fulfill some orders, and learn about that. I mean, the importance that you gain, I think, from understanding the physical process and actually doing it, and understanding like just how things are flowing in those processes and how they're occurring in the warehouse, that it'll help you to better apply your knowledge and relate that to what happens in the processes later in your career, right? So, I mean, too often, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast previously, but, too often I see strategies that are developed at higher levels within, an organization at the director, VP level, where, those directors and VPs, while they may be very smart, they never spent time on the floor, and they never did the physical process or spent time to really understand the process, how it truly is. So by the time that strategy and plan hits the floor, it doesn't actually make sense. And it doesn't make sense to what you're doing and how things work, how the system relates, and how physical things actually need to happen. So getting this type of knowledge and having this kind of experience, even if it's just for a month or two, a little bit of time, it'll certainly help you to make better business decisions that align with the overall processes and will make sense for those actually doing the work. And I think, if you have and you want to be a leader in the distribution world, having that experience and being able to relate to the employees on the floor will also end up giving you that much more respect from those employees as well, because, you're not coming in just basically talking like what you're talking about. You can actually, share with them that, you've done this in the past and you understand some of the pain points and how you can address them and really make their lives better and have a better work environment and a better overall process flow that can create more productivity for them, because overall that's what they're looking for. And you as a leader, you're looking to get the most out of them so you can have the best performance coming out of your distribution and shipping area. So very, very important part. And, even if you're trying to transition as well, it's certainly maybe a little more tough to do something like that if you're still working a different job while you're trying to transition. But getting that type of experience, it can be a huge, huge help to help you be a good leader in the future. So those are kind of my 3 recommendations for this. And it's usually what I tell people who ask me this question, depending on the situation that they're in. So I hope that these tips or recommendations are helpful, and I would definitely love to hear some of yours as well, those that have, experience in the distribution world. How do you tell people, how can they advance their career? How can they learn more about our industry? And, definitely share it with me. So please leave a comment at thenewwarehouse.com on the post. Reach out to me via LinkedIn. It's Kevin Lawton. That's KevinLawton. Or you can just send me an email at kevin@thenewwarehouse.com, and definitely would love to hear your insight and your information and tips, and share those on maybe a future episode as well. So thank you so much for listening every Monday and Wednesday, every week. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we'll talk again later this week. Have a great week.
You've been listening to the New Warehouse Podcast with Kevin Lawton. Subscribe and check us out online at thenewwarehouse.com.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want more content from the New Warehouse, check out our new video series called All Hands on LinkedIn. Just search for the New Warehouse on LinkedIn and follow along.